Hello everyone, my name is Nazym and today I will present my research topic, developing speaking skills using communicative activity role-playing. My research presentation consists of purpose, research questions, participant, literature review, methodology, data analysis, findings, and conclusion. The purpose of my research is to study the students' attitude towards teaching English speaking skills using the communicative activity, role-playing. English teaching and learning have the goal of focusing students so that they are able to use English for communication and as a tool for furthering their studies. Let's talk about my research questions. First, how can I increase 9th grade secondary school students' speaking skills through role-play activity? And second, how communicative activities decrease students' fear in making mistakes. My participants are one group of 20 participants aged 14-15 who were in the 9th grade of secondary school at the pre-intermediate and intermediate levels. Let's talk about my literature review. Language takes one of the most essential roles in communication of human beings in a society. As human beings, we always need communication to emphasize our ideas to do everything. It's also very important for students. They have to speak to express their ideas to their teacher when learning process takes place. Speech is a primary form of communication, I think. Increasing of speaking skills isn't effortless or simple for anyone. There are some main points that you should consider some learning process. The students have to be effective in the classroom and also should exchange perceptual experiences. As children acquire the language without much conscious effort, only getting enough exposure to the language. Teachers should concentrate on exposing the learners to the natural use of language by enabling them to listen reasonably. Krashen called this approach comprehensible input, which is getting language input by understanding more or less, even a bit more, the student's own level. Nevertheless, there are some problems with this approach. Unlike children who acquire language unconsciously, adults are likely to use reasoning when they acquire the language, so they learn consciously. One of the best ways of getting learners to speak is role-playing. In role-playing, the instructor gives material to the students in the manner that who they are and what they feel or think. Along these lines, the teacher may tell the students that you are Harry Potter, you are the wizard, tell your friends how you fought the Voldemort. Role-playing is a part of activity abused by various approaches to language teaching, an effective teaching tool. Carol Linguiston, in his book called Role-Play in Language Learning, compares between role-play and other associated communicative activities, such as simulation, group work, and dialogue work. Carol represents and examines two role-plays, touching on such aspects as teacher preparation, class preparation, and follow-up work at both beginners and advanced levels. Mr. Linguiston came to the conclusion that role-play is an activity for delivering real language situations into auditory was substantially impressive in enhancing subjects learning the foreign language. So, as you know, I have started my research because of my fault in the beginning of April in a current situation in the world. I have created a research paper from my last year experience in teaching. Also, my teacher from school helped me and gave me permission to do some activities at online class. This study incorporates quantitative method. The research was carried out among one group of 20 participants aged 14-15, as I said before, who were in the 9th grade of secondary school at a pre-intermediate and intermediate level. The data was collected through students' questionnaire, observation notes, and text which given to the students. Without a doubt, We know that a questionnaire is the most useful method for collecting information from learners or participants of your research work. Focus on their background and attitudes. For this research study, I prepared a students' questionnaire which was cautiously fashioned to modify them to contribute data relevant to the study. First, I designed a students' survey to analyze the importance of speaking skills, their perception, and the difficulties they experience. And also from the survey, I found out on which topics participants are interested in. At the beginning, while I was observing their lesson, I evaluated student speaking skills with some criteria, and I noticed that most of them have pre-intermediate level of English, and some students have intermediate levels of English. At this stage, we will move on to the practical parts of this study. For collecting the data, instruments such as observation, interviews, text, and questionnaires were used. Beginning, I asked the students to choose the skill they want to improve most. 9 of the 16 participants chose speaking, while 3 of them picked reading. The writing skill is considered to be the same as listening skills chosen by the only 2 respondents. This table shows that speaking skills is the first, the listening skills is second, and the reading skills is the third, and the writing skills is fourth. The purpose of this question was to find out the participants' need in language learning. So we found out that speaking is considered to be a skill that learners want to develop most. So in the next question, respondents are provided with the choices why they don't talk English in the classroom, and it reveals that 7 of them don't speak because they're afraid of making mistakes, while 3 of them mention that they lack of self-confidence. As for the fear of teachers' negative feedback, we have recorded 2 respondents, and the other 2 respondents have indicated that the lack of vocabulary is the reason why they don't talk in English. For that, I believe it is the role of teachers to create a relaxed and friendly learning environment where learning are encouraged and feel free to use English. The purpose of this research work was to look at whether role-play communicative activity build up students' speaking abilities. Most importantly, the examination uncovered that actualizing pretend exercises builds up students' speaking skills. Most of the students asserted that they felt that their speaking skills expanded. Contrasted with the lessons the instructor had with the class before beginning the examination, amid the exploration lessons, the students attempted their best to get into the parts and utilize just English. Some students claimed that they have overcome their fear of speaking because they had quite much time to devote it only to speaking in the target language. To add more, the learners also liked the fact that they could move in the classroom, when, for example, visiting travel agencies. Also, working pairs and groups was appealing to the students because they could overcome their fear of speaking in front of people with whom they didn't have a close relationship. To desire communicate in English is one of the reasons of why speaking is the most essential skill to improve. One of the aims of this research was to find out learners' needs in language learning. The findings of this research work shows that the most of the participants emphasize that they want to improve their speaking skills most. So speaking is the most desired language skill to improve the 9th grade English learners. This research work should have concentrated on speaking activities, and this enabled pupils to improve their other skills as well. It helped them build vocabulary, improve grammar, listening and writing as well. This research work demonstrated that English as a foreign language teachers should teach students to become conscious of such context of use in order to avoid misunderstandings. The best way to do that is to motivate students to practice and to have more verbal interaction in the classroom, because they don't have the chance to use it outside the classroom.